Fight Club was addictive. It broke all the rules of cinema. It was one of the first split personality disorder and psychological movies that paved the way for so many others. So Fight Club makes us question our lives in the society we live in, and thoroughly amuses us in the process. Did you know there are 5 more rules that Tyler Durden speaks of, but we usually don't remember? We'll mention them at the end of the video. So here's one more reason to stick around to the end. We saw that ending scene where the unnamed narrator and Marla hold hands and watch buildings blow up. You must wonder what happened after that. Now that we know who Tyler actually is he gone forever? Did Marla and the protagonist die? Did the world end? The film is adopted from, and is very faithful to, an excellent book by Chuck Palahniuk. The book feels like it was perfect for a movie. Vivid, powerful, challenging, original, and above all, unpredictable. Many people have no idea that Chuck Palahniuk, the author of the book Fight Club, made 2 sequels as well. These weren't in the form of books or movies, but something in between. In 2018, Fight Club 2 was released as a graphic novel, and then 2 years later, in 2020, he released Fight Club 3, also in the form of a graphic novel. When asked why he released the sequels as comics, he said,
"Because if I'd written a novel, it would have been compared to the first novel, and it would have been really a tough comparison. And if they had made a movie, it would have been compared to David's movie, which would have been impossible. But as a comic book, it can be kind of its own thing. It can't be directly compared to either the movie or the book, and so it has more of a chance of standing and earning its own place in the world."
So what happened in these sequels? Let's dive in. But before we dive deeper, really quick, please hit the subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos and show your support. One small click for you, but a huge deal for us. Thanks. Fight Club 2. We jump 10 years into the future, after the events of Fight Club. In Fight Club 2, the narrator, who was previously unnamed by the author, is now finally revealed to be named Sebastian. Sebastian is now living in the mundane life of most typical middle-aged men. Remember Marla from the movie? Not only is she alive, but she is now also Sebastian's wife. Together they have a 9-year-old son named Junior. So the world didn't end, the protagonist and Marla didn't die. And what about Tyler? Well, Sebastian is taking pills that suppress whatever problem he had that led to the manifestation of Tyler Durden. Marla is shown to be unhappy with her boring suburban life. Sebastian's passive and pilled-up state bores the heck out of her. She looks like she misses Tyler and craves the excitement that he brought. To facilitate the return of Tyler Durden, she starts fiddling with her husband's medicine in secret. Eventually, this plan of hers starts to bring results as the effects of the medicine start waning. Marla gets what she wishes for. Tyler Durden starts to resurface and take over Sebastian's mind. Marla gets her fun at night, but with Tyler, there always comes anarchy. It is revealed that Tyler had been slipping out of Sebastian often in the past years and had his operations running. He reestablishes Project Mayhem, but has now grown way beyond a tiny group like before, and now operates internally with a huge system of followers. After that, we find out that Tyler has some plan related to Sebastian and Marla's son, Junior, and he kidnaps the kid. He wishes to brainwash him into his chaotic beliefs. Sebastian has no choice but to face Tyler again. He, along with his wife, sets out to find his son, and in doing so, he finds out how deep the layers of Tyler's global plans are. It feels like there is no escape from Tyler's impact and influence. One interesting reveal that we get is that Tyler has been around for much longer than everyone thought. Tyler Durden is not just an alternate personality of Sebastian, as we have been made to believe so far. He is exposed to be a psychological virus that has been hereditary in Sebastian's family, and Junior is not safe from this virus at all. Sebastian comes to find out that Tyler does not seek to simply destroy. He wants a complete reboot of culture and civilization. His new world order would emerge after all present structures of the world collapse. A central theme of the story is Sebastian's internal battles. He comes to the conclusion that in order to save his son and to stop his alter ego's plans, he has to stop shying away from conflicts with the darker parts of himself. The story goes full meta on us when the author, Chuck Palahniuk, is seen in the very story he's writing. Yeah, things just get weirder. Chuck interacts with Sebastian and with Marla. He comments on the story and the nature of how stories are told. Like at one point, Marla enters his home with some demands. The writer is perplexed and looks like he wants to help her, but Chuck's guests, friends, ask him to write Marla out of the scene. And in the next scene, she is outside his house and on her way. Anyway, Sebastian, Marla, and other odd allies face the leaders of Project Mayhem to put an end to their sinister plans. Tyler makes use of every opportunity to pit characters against each other, manipulating them by using their insecurities and weaknesses. When Sebastian finally reaches Junior and is able to save him, the Tyler virus seems to have already affected the boy. The cycle of chaos and anarchy might just continue in the upcoming future. In an ending clash, Tyler and Sebastian face each other in a final battle inside the latter's mind. This battle symbolizes the never-ending struggle between chaos and order within a human's being. The story ends on a somewhat ambiguous note. Sebastian successfully suppresses Tyler, but it is implied that it isn't possible for Tyler to ever be truly gone. Fight Club 3. In the third installment, Fight Club 3, we are introduced to a new antagonist. This enemy is a mysterious being known as Rise or Die. Rise or Die confronts both Tyler and Sebastian, seeking to bring a different type of Armageddon. The organization is headed by a woman named Balthazar, possibly played by Tilda Swinton. The organization is even more perilous than the old Project Mayhem, and its goal is to intensify Tyler's chaotic aims to even more global level. It is revealed later that Balthazar's group's intentions are to create a new race of superhumans who are like Tyler, i.e., they should have his unbreakable ideas of disorder and devastation through genetic engineering. After what happened in Fight Club 2, Sebastian is involved in a fresh, even more sinister conflict as the sphere of Tyler Durden's influence continues to expand. The struggle to suppress the duality of his personality continues. Sebastian's charismatic alter ego is now treated as a Masonic entity by followers. He is now worshipped as a godly figure, and it seems like he can no longer be controlled by Sebastian. Sebastian's mental state sees a sharp decline as it becomes more and more difficult for him to make out what's real and what's not. He can't differentiate between reality and hallucination, which makes it more difficult for him to confront Tyler effectively. Marla is still a central character, acting as both a critic and a supporter of Sebastian. This time she's more involved in the conflict between Tyler and his group. Junior is also a more active participant in the fight as he is now older, possibly played by Timothée Chalamet, torn between his father's protection and Tyler's struggle to influence him into becoming the new head of anarchy. Rise or Die believes that Tyler's old efforts were just the start of something much bigger, and to finish what he started, they plan on introducing a global catastrophe that would lead to a complete reboot of society. One would think that Tyler would agree with the methods and goals, but this is not the case. He has his own vision of how he wants things to happen, and this sets the stage for conflict between the two powers. Some of his followers, however, start to become disillusioned with Tyler's cult extremism and join Sebastian and Marla in the struggle to prevent the approaching catastrophe. Believing it to be the starting cause of the world's end, the cult unleashes a deadly plague. Things just keep getting worse, and Sebastian begins to lose grip on reality. It becomes increasingly harder for him to maintain a separation between his and Tyler's identity, and gets even harder to try and stop the cult. As we all know, it wouldn't be a Fight Club story until there's a shocking reveal. We find out that Tyler has been playing both sides against each other. It was all so that he can have the final showdown that will cement his legacy. At the climax of the story, we see the cult's plans in action. We see the collapse of cities all around the world and absolute anarchy, much like what we experienced in the original Fight Club. In a moment of desperation, Sebastian decides to sacrifice his life in an effort to stop Tyler and also end the apocalypse. What happens in the end to Sebastian and Tyler is kept vague. And this third part, like the previous parts, also ends on an ambiguous note. The graphic novel does not fully clarify if this act actually leads to Tyler's destruction or not. Is this the end of all the mayhem, or is Tyler's influence and chaos something that cannot die just like that? The ending suggests that the struggle between chaos and order, Tyler and Sebastian, may never truly end. These graphic novels did not experience the same popularity as the movie and book for the first part, but they're important if one wants to understand deeply what Chuck Palahniuk wanted to convey through his characters. Most people don't even know that they exist, but now you do. Fight Club is considered to be one of the greatest movies of all time as one of the best works of David Fincher. A cult classic, a culture phenomenon. If one wants to truly feel its depth and meaning, one has to watch it at least twice. But the question arises, should they have made those sequels? So what are your thoughts? Drop a comment below. Please hit the like and subscribe button so you get live updates on our new videos from our channel. This video was made by movie fans, for movie fans.